Hello, everyone, and welcome to Coffee and Conversation with Kristen. So today I wanted to come to you all and discuss appraisals. When you're buying a home right now, appraisals are a really big factor into the overall loan, okay? The overall offer, things like that. Because you put in an offer to purchase, that is a legal contract, right? So there's a lot of different things that can come up in an appraisal, particularly this year when we're going into offers which tend to have multiple offers, okay? When you're writing an offer, you're most likely, not always, but most likely up against, seems like anywhere from 2 to 10, 15, even sometimes 20 offers or more. It's crazy. If you're a buyer who has put in offers and have been unlucky so far into getting a home, you probably feel exactly what I'm saying there. But what the thing about it is that when there's those multiple offers, people tend to get really aggressive. They tend to get really competitive, which means they're offering over the asking price. Sometimes offering, I've seen upwards of $15,000 to $20,000 over the asking price, in some cases more. It really depends on the home. But with that being said, then we run into what can be a issue with the appraised value. Now, as a lender, and any lender out there, we're going to go off of either the purchase price or the appraised value for your loan, the lower of the two. Meaning that if you offered $200,000 on a home and the appraisal came in at $195,000, we are going to now go off of $195,000, which means there's a $5,000 gap. Okay, who bridges that gap is always the next question. Who is liable to come in with that? Now, there's always three options, okay? One, you go back as the buyer to the seller and ask them to reduce the price. In most years and normal, if we'll call them normal, purchase scenarios, that might be an option. Right now, the reality is it's probably very slim to none that seller's going to budge on that price, okay? Which means it then becomes the buyer's responsibility to bridge that $5,000 gap for the lender, okay? Because again, any lender is going to go off of the purchase price or the appraisal, the lower of the two. So now there's a $5,000 gap, which means you would have to come into closing with an additional $5,000. Or third case scenario, you've got a great seller, you've got a great buyer, and everybody wants to work together and you split it in the middle. So now each party is putting $2,500 towards that gap. I have seen all three scenarios happen. However, the buy side is the most typical one right now, where the buyer is now going to be responsible for that gap. The buyer decided to write that much over, okay? So if the buyer writes that much over, they're typically saying, I know I'm taking a risk and I have the cash to do so. It's extremely important that you talk with your lender to ensure that if the appraisal does not come in at the asking price versus the listing price, that you understand what your responsibility is for that additional cash, and also to make sure that you have the funds available to come in with that cash, whether it be from a checking and savings account, maybe you're going to get a gift, use a retirement fund to help fund that difference. There's a lot of different scenarios. The main point is talk to your lender. Make sure that you fully understand that when you're writing over an asking price, that you know what your responsibility as a buyer is. The goal to a realtor and to a lender, both buy side and list side of a realtor and a lender, is to make sure that they're working with buyers and sellers who are going to let that or make that contract come to life, which means close the loan. Every time we write an offer, we want to make sure that we're taking that offer to the closing table. Similar to a lender, whenever I'm writing a pre-approval, I'm doing all my due diligence to make sure that I know that I'm offering that pre-approval letter, it's going to the closing table. Making sure that you have the funds to close is one of those things. So again, really be open and honest with your lender right now. Know what your expectations are as far as that appraisal is concerned. Make sure you know that if you're writing offer, what the possibilities are. Don't write over $20,000 if you legitimately have no means or you have no the reality is if you have no indication that you're going to pay that $20,000 over, then you shouldn't be offering $20,000 over hoping the appraisal comes in. That's where we're at right now. If that changes, I will update this video with a new one and let you know. But right now, that seems to be where we're at. When I'm talking to listing agents, buyers agents all over the place, they're in the same boat and feeling the same way. So it's important that the consumer understands that. If you have any questions, I'm always here for you. You can drop your comments below, subscribe to my channel, or feel free to share this video with anyone you know who might be in to a purchase and needs to understand a little bit more. It's our job to educate you and making sure you know what you're getting into when you buy. It's a crazy market out there, and we just want to make sure that you're prepared. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.